come to worship God, who loved us before we were yet born, and who knows us even better than we know ourselves, whose presence never leaves us, and whose love for us never ceases. This is our God. So let us worship together. Let us pray. Come, Holy Spirit, heavenly dove, with all thy quickening power, kindle a flame of sacred love in these hearts of ours. O Lord, we come not for form or fashion, but we come to uplift thy holy and righteous name. You have been better to us than we've been to ourselves, and we say thank you, God. Send your Spirit, O God. Let us be receptive of your word. Melt us, mold us, cleanse us, and fill us, O God. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Our scripture lesson comes from 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 16 through 27. Let us hear God's word. Later, two women who were prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. The one woman said, "Please, my lord, this woman and I lived in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house. Then on the third day after I gave birth, this woman also gave birth. We were together. There was no one else with us in the house. Only the two of us were in the house. Then this woman's son died in the night because she lay on him. She got up in the middle of the night and took my son from beside me while your servant slept. She laid him at her breast and laid her dead son at my breast. When I rose in the morning to nurse my son, I saw that he was dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning, clearly it was not the son I had born." But the other woman said, "No, the living son is mine, and the dead son is yours." The first said, "No, the dead son is yours, and the living son is mine." So they argued before the king. Then the king said, "The one says, 'This is my son that is alive, and your son is dead,' while the other says, 'Not so. Your son is dead, and my son is the living one.' So the king said, 'Bring me a sword.' And they brought a sword before the king. The king said, 'Divide the living boy in two. Then give half to the one and the half to the other.' But the woman whose son was alive said to the king, because compassion for her son burned within her, 'Please, my lord, give her the living boy. Certainly do not kill him.' The other said, 'It shall be neither mine nor yours. Divide it.' Then the king responded, 'Give the first woman the living boy. Do not kill him. She is his mother.' All Israel heard of the judgment that the king had rendered, and they stood in awe of the king, because they perceived that the wisdom of God was in him to execute justice." May God add a blessing to the reading of his word.
Yeah. This is Mother's Day. And I just want to say thank you to all the mothers that are out there listening, mothers that have really gone out of their way to raise children, their children, and everybody else's. This is your day, mothers, and I hope everybody that has a mother will honor them some way, shape, form, or another. Let me say thank you for allowing me to come again in your presence. It's always good to be among friends, and I do not take it lightly. I thank you for having me. Let us pray. Oh, Father, we come praising your holy and righteous name. Thank you for everybody, oh God. In spite of the times that we're going through, God, this coronavirus, we still stand strong, God, and we still have the faith and know that you are in control, and it's only you, God, that can make these things all right. So come forth, oh God, show forth, for we, your people, are waiting. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Somebody prayed for me. They had me on their mind. Oh, they took the time and prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. So glad. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm glad. I'm so glad they prayed for me. Somebody prayed for me. They had me on their mind. They took the time to pray for me. I'm glad they prayed. Oh, I'm glad they prayed. Oh, I'm A mother's love will make you pray for your kids. So I come this morning speaking on the topic, a mother's love. A mother's love. And some of you might be saying, well, what's love got to do with it? Oh, we hear all kind of cliches and sayings about love. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Real love is like socks. You gotta have two, and they have to match. Or you might have heard, you just don't stop loving someone. You either always will love them, or you never did love them in the first place. Love is maybe a splendid thing. Or you might have heard looking for love in all the wrong places. And many times we are looking for love in all the wrong places, not realizing that the love of God is already embedded in us. And we take that love and we ought to spread it to others. What's love got to do with it? Well, if you ask an atheist, they would say, love ain't got nothing to do with it. If you ask a politician, they would probably say, it's strictly business, it's strictly business. Love ain't got nothing to do with it. If you were to ask the Good Samaritan, he'd probably say, I am my brother's keeper. So love's got a lot to do with it. But if you were to ask Tina Turner, she probably would break out in song saying, what's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? But our scripture tells us that love has everything to do with it. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but do not have love, I am only a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal. In other words, we're talking loud and saying nothing if we don't have love for one another. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. So in other words, we can be blessed with all the talents, with all the knowledge, and even faith, but if we do not show our love for others, we are nothing. We're kind of like hypocrites. If I give all my possessions to the poor and give over my body to hardships that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. So if we're doing things for the wrong reasons, we have not accomplished anything. Everything must be done for the glorification, the sanctification, the praise and honor of God. Otherwise, our praise and worship is in vain. Our scripture for today tells us of two women who each have given birth to a son. The woman who has given birth first rolled over on her baby, and then the baby died. And this woman decided to make a switcheroo. She switched the babies and placed her dead baby upon the breast of the other woman. And when the other mother woke up to feed her baby, she realized that the baby was dead. But as she began to examine and consider the circumstances, she realized that it was not her baby that was dead. So now each woman is claiming to be the mother of the living child. I am the mother, says the one. Nay, 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 I am the mother, says the other. Well, in front of King Solomon, with his great wisdom, said, bring me a sword, and I will divide the living child in two. I'll give one half to you, and the other half to the other mother. And the real mother, I know her eyes must have got big as 50-cent pieces because it was her child. So the real mother of the living child spoke up and said, oh, king, just give the baby to her. Just give the living child to the other woman. You see, she did not want her baby to be killed. But the other woman said, well, let it be neither mine nor hers. Go ahead and divide it. Well, right then, King Solomon knew who the child's rightful mother was. For a mother's sacrifice, she will sacrifice and sacrifice for her child. Even though her heart was yearning for her baby, she was willing to sacrifice her feelings so that her child could live. And isn't that what a real mama does? She makes sacrifices. She goes out of her way to make sure that her child is comfortable. She goes without so that her child can have. She goes over and beyond in order that her child will not have to suffer. She puts her feelings, her wants, her wishes aside so that her child will be confident and successful. If you're a mother, a grandmother, a guardian, or someone who deals with children, no doubt you have had to go through something. No doubt you've had to cry sometimes. Many times you've had to wonder, how in the world did I make it? Amen. A mother always wants what's best for her child. And when children don't make the right decisions, it can cause a mother to have a lot of pain, agony, and disappointment. We wonder why our children are disrespectful. We wonder why our children are disobedient, why our children are not doing well in school. We wonder why our children have gone to jail. We wonder how our children and why they're on drugs. We wonder why our children simply are not interested in things that would make a difference in their lives. After all those things that a mother has sacrificed for them, and no matter what we say or what we do, there is no difference in the child's behavior. But late, in the midnight hour, when the mother gets up off her knees and starts telling God all about her troubles, that's when things begin to change. That's when there begins to be a glimmer of hope. You see, a mother prays for her child. Yes. She offers up her child to God and lifts him or her up in prayer, because prayer changes things. Amen. That child has begun to mature and blossom and become the person that a mother has had those great expectations for. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. So, on this Mother's Day, please know that a mother is a manifestation of God's love. Amen. A mother cares for you. A mother will be there when nobody else will be there. A mother understands her child. She will give up her last in order to supply the needs of her child. A mother has enough love for everybody. Now that's really love, when you can sacrifice and give in order that somebody else might have. God gave the ultimate sacrifice when he gave his son Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. What's love got to do with it? Well, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. Love has everything to do with it. There is a story told about a little homeless boy. This little homeless boy was walking down the rainy, cold streets one night. And because he's cold, tired, and hungry, he stops and asks a policeman where he might go. The policeman says, I can tell you exactly where you can go. The boy replied, I'm so tired, I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, I'm dirty, and I have nowhere to go. The policeman said, young man, go 3 blocks down the street, turn to the right, you will see a house with a yellow light, knock on the door. And after you knock on the door, a man will ask, who is it? And you tell him, John 3:16. So this little boy obeys the policeman, and he goes and knocks on the door. And a man comes from behind the door and asks, who is it? The little boy says, John 3:16. And the door swings wide open. The man does not exchange words with the little boy. He can see that the boy is tired, hungry, cold, sleeping. And so he immediately fixes dinner for the boy, tells him he can go upstairs and take a bath and have clean clothes and have a nice bed to sleep in. So the little boy eats, he goes upstairs and bathes and puts on clean clothes and then begins to lie in the bed, and then he couldn't sleep because he's wondering, who or what is this John 3:16? What is John 3:16 that he can take me in just as I am, with all my needs and with all my flaws. And so his little mind was wondering. He couldn't sleep. So the next morning he gets up bright and early and goes downstairs, and the man has already prepared a delicious breakfast. And the boy could hardly eat. He says to the man, listen, I have a question. Who is this John 3:16? You did not know anything about me. I knocked at the door and I just said John 3:16 and the door opened. You fed me when I was hungry. You prepared water for my bath. You gave me clothes when I was naked. Who or what is this John 3:16? And the man says, I'm glad you asked. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That is God's love. God loves people just like you and me, and he sent his Son as a living sacrifice. What is John 3:16? It's God's love. You see, when Jesus gave his farewell instructions to his disciples, he told them to keep his commandments if they loved him. Because we love Jesus, we also love one another. Jesus paid the price. So if you are hungry, know that he will feed you. If you're without clothes, he'll put clothes on your back. If you're homeless, he'll take you in. If you're dirty, he'll clean you up. If you need washing, he'll wash you whiter than snow. John 3:16. John 3:16. God's love. God loved the world so that he gave his only Son. And no greater love than this, that a man would lay down his life as Jesus did. What's love got to do with it? It's like a mother's love who sacrifices so that her child will live. John 3:16. We serve a God who will never leave us nor forsake us. We serve a God who will pick us up when we fall. We serve a God who knows all about us. A God who will make a way out of no way. A God who will help us in the time of trouble. And on this Mother's Day, know that there are some mothers that prayed for you so that you could continue to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Amen. Amen. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, lover of all mankind, thank you for sending your Son Jesus as a living sacrifice. Help us to become the disciples you would have us be. Touch our hearts, oh God, enlighten our minds and stir up our spirit. Help us daily to take up the cross and follow Jesus by living his word and proclaiming the good news to those all around us, oh God. May your faith in us increase. May we hunger for the gospel. May our